As the drivers begin to climb into their cars down on the grid, the excitement is really building at this magnificent circuit. We're just about ready to go racing for today's Formula One Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Piastri, George Russell and Tsunoda, Verstappen, Hamilton, Stroll and Fernando Alonso, Hadjar, Sainz, Alex Albon and Lawson, Bortoletto, Behrman, Pierre Gasly and Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comments, Anthony Davidson. Hello. I love being here at Silverstone. I know you do too, mainly because we get to sleep in our own houses for a week. But what do the drivers enjoy most about this track?
Well, Silverstone's such a challenging circuit, Crofty, more so for the car than the driver, because these high-speed corners at Silverstone really test this modern-day F1 machinery to its maximum. We don't get that many times throughout the calendar. I can only think of Suzuka and Spa, maybe Qatar as well, with that high-energy cornering that you get here at Silverstone. So the drivers love throwing the car around through corners like Copse, Maggots and Beckett's, for example, and it's really influential for your lap time as well.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights, the start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Second place, you're in second place. Okay, that's Antonelli just ahead. Push hard. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 2.7 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Your pit window is going to open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. And 11 laps to go. We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Seeing a lot of tyre deg now. We've got a new strategy if you want to take a look at it. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.7 seconds. Okay, copy that. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy. Keep on him, he might make a mistake. We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
Happy. Pit now, pit now.
grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. You've got 11th, that's 11th place. Okay, gap to leader, 8.1 seconds. Alonso's ahead of you. Okay, they're on old softs. Leclerc behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on fresh hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, 7 laps to go. Okay, clear. Oscar is into the pit lane. Oscar in the pits. Currently P11. Currently P11. The distance to the leader, 33.6 seconds. Alonso ahead. They've just entered the pits. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. The car ahead's coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres. Okay, Antonelli ahead. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 7.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Antonelli's ahead of you. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 7.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. Time last lap, 2:00.1. Gap to your teammate behind, 2.6 seconds. Hamilton's behind you now. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. And the time last lap, 2:00.3. Okay, you're sat in P2. Okay, that's Antonelli just ahead. Push hard. And gap to the car in front, 9.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Oscar's behind you. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, Antonelli ahead. Time last lap, 1 minute 33.4. Okay, gap ahead, 10.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We're falling back by around 1.2 seconds a lap. Come on. Antonelli's ahead of you. And the time last lap, 1:33.4. Okay, gap to the car in front, 10.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We're falling back by around 1.2 seconds a lap. Come on. Oscar behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Time last lap, 1 minute 34.6. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. Yes, mate, I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes!
Hey, podium in my home race, podium in our home race.
And your victor today, Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
A great team victory today, Crofty. That's the important bit here. On home soil, the drivers delivered, the team delivered as well, and to do that in front of their home support really means a lot to them.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. A young man with a big future, today's a winner. Well done, Kimi Antonelli. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.